types of accommodations in Boracay, and I'm going to give you a lowdown on all of them. Right now, we're at the beachfront of Movenpick Resort and Spa, Boracay, located at a very isolated place in the island. It's really peaceful here. But prior to this, we also stayed at Banca House in Station 3 and Hue Hotels and Resorts in Station 2. So let's go through them one by one. But first of all, let's talk about what I wanted to experience when I went to Boracay. So I wanted to start really slow, and to do that, I specifically chose Station 3 to start my vacation. I wanted to not be so overwhelmed by a lot of people immediately, and we know that in Station 3 there are not a lot of people. I'm so happy that I stayed at Banca House for the first few days of my vacation. The service was so personalized and homey. Of course, you will feel like you were really home and they want to take care of you. I started my trip on a weekend and I wanted to avoid the crowds. That's why I stayed at Station 3. And then towards the weekdays, I transitioned into Station 2 by staying at Hue Hotels and Resorts in Station 2. And again, depending on the purpose of your trip, that is also a very strategic choice because you're going to be in the middle of all of the action in Boracay. Station 2 is where all of the restaurants and the shops and the water activities are being held. Even if Hue Hotel is not a beachfront property, it's nice that there is really an effort from the part of the developers to put the action in that hotel, because right below your hotel room at the ground floor is this beautiful pool, and it has a party atmosphere all day. There is music all day. Having said that, I also brought work with me as I stayed at Hue Hotel, and one downside of the stay there is that the Wi-Fi signal is not very stable in room. It's really a disadvantage if you want to get some work done, because then I personally had to go down to the pool area to get stable internet connection, and that's not very ideal. As I said, there is a party atmosphere there and there's going to be party music, not lounge music. So if you have any meetings, you have to plan the logistics of that in advance. But otherwise, what is also amazing about the setup at Hue is that their soundproofing in the rooms is so exceptional. Like, it's always peaceful in my room. I couldn't hear others in the hall or even at the pool side. Even if I had a pool view room, I wouldn't hear any of the music or the happenings that are taking place in the pool. So if you want to have a restful stay, Hue is also going to be a good choice. And just probably check with them before staying if they've improved on their Wi-Fi. Finally, as I am winding down on this trip, I chose Movenpick Resort and Spa at a very tucked away place in Boracay. It's been delightful. It's very secluded. You won't encounter groups of people here. Only hotel guests are able to access this private beachfront. The facilities, as you can see, of course, are very complete. So just in comparison, Movenpick is classified as a 5-star hotel and Hue Hotel is classified as a 4-star hotel. And meanwhile, Banca House is registered in different ways. Some sites say it's a 3-star hotel and some say it's a 1-star inn. But you see, it really doesn't matter for me. The star rating doesn't matter. What matters is how your experience turns out as you stay. Sometimes, even at the most modest places, that's where you will experience the best stay, where people are really so eager to accommodate your needs and make your stay delightful. One downside from Movenpick, I feel, is that their rooms are not soundproof. Sometimes when there is sweeping or even just walking outside of my door, I could hear it. And even the room on top of me, I could sometimes hear some shuffling there. All of the accommodations I stayed at served their purpose. I am happy that I arrived at the weekend, but at a quiet part of Boracay in Station 3, and then I transitioned to the happening part of Boracay in Station 2 during the weekday. And then when I approached the next weekend, now I am here at Movenpick to enjoy some quiet and solitude and really to reflect on the best parts of this trip. And if you have any recommendations for hotels or other accommodation for my next travels, I'd love to hear them at the comment section. I'd be happy to learn more about your experiences, and let's share what we learn from our trips with each other. The Wandering Wanderer left footprints at Boracay.